Welcome to the Raising Confident Girls podcast, your guide to raising strong, confident daughters. I'm Melissa Jones, the founder of Girls Positivity Club and a teacher for over 20 years. In a world where girls often feel overwhelmed, anxious, and confused, this podcast is your go-to space. As caregivers, we navigate challenges together. I founded Girls Positivity Club to provide a place where you belong and get the tools to face today's hurdles. Consider this your regular check-in with a trusted friend, offering insights and practical tips for meaningful conversations. I'm here to help you feel confident on this journey of raising a generation of empowered girls. Let's dive in and raise those confident girls together. Hey everybody, it's Melissa and welcome back to Raising Confident Girls. Whether you're listening while you're driving, you're finishing work right before a break, or you're catching a few quiet minutes at home, I'm really glad you're here. Today's episode is all about something simple but powerful: strengthening your daughter's confidence at home through tiny connection habits. And so this is especially helpful during breaks, when schedules shift, when moods are wobbly, when friendships cool off or heat up, and emotions get bigger because routines get loose. But the best part is you don't need big dramatic conversations to help her feel grounded. You don't need the perfect script, and you don't even need a long parent-daughter talk every night. Small, consistent, connection-focused habits build her confidence far more than anything big or complicated. And so today I'm going to give you 4 tiny habits that make a huge difference at every age. But first, let me tell you a story. In one of my Girls Positivity Club sessions a few months ago, I had a girl who came in wearing the brightest smile I had ever seen on her. And now normally she is a very quiet, thoughtful, and more of a serious type of personality and really an observer. But that day she was light, open, almost settled in a way that felt new. And so when she shared her yay during our circle of yays, she said, "My favorite part of today was breakfast. My mom just sat next to me while I ate. She didn't talk a lot. She just sat there with me, and it felt great." And then she shrugged and said the line that stuck with me: "I just felt more me this morning." And her mom later told me she didn't realize that something so small could matter that much. Because you see, this mom in particular oftentimes has to go to work early and she's not able to sit down with the kids at breakfast. And I mean, that was me when I was teaching. Like, I oftentimes left way before my son. And it was something that it really weighed on me. Like, I really regretted it because I felt like I only got to spend time with him on the weekends, especially when he was younger. And so just her realizing that something so small could matter that much to her daughter really showed me that those little moments, even though we can't necessarily have them all the time, they do. And it always does. And they don't have to happen all the time. And I think even if they don't happen as often, yes, I know that this mom wanted to sit down with her daughter every day, but because it was something that she intentionally decided to do with her daughter on that morning, it really made a huge difference. And so that's the power of tiny connection moments. They make our girls feel safe in their own skin, and that's where confidence grows. But before we jump into the 4 tiny habits, I want to share something really important. December, if you've listened to other episodes, I've been talking about this in the last few ones. December is one of our biggest scholarship fundraising months. So we believe in Girls Positivity Club that every girl deserves to be in a club, no matter their financial barriers. And so what this does is, when we can just put things together for these girls who may not otherwise have the opportunity, they are able to be part of an 8-week program that helps them build their confidence, make new friendships, feel good about who they are, have some leadership opportunities that they wouldn't necessarily have in their everyday life, and just make them feel good and that sense of belonging after school with girls that they may not meet. And one of my favorite things is that we often will do several grade levels in a club. And so some of these girls don't even see each other during the school day. And as a matter of fact, when I was a teacher, I remember like there were certain grade levels we never saw because they were on the other side of the building, or we just had opposite schedules of when we were in the hallway together. And we certainly didn't know any of those kids. And so what this also does is it provides her to be around other girls that maybe in other classrooms that she could develop friendships with that she wouldn't otherwise be able to. And so we love to create these opportunities for girls, no matter what kind of finances their family is in. And it really helps when generous people come together and donate. Even the smallest amount starts to add up. And it really helps us provide these scholarships for girls who couldn't otherwise join a girls' positivity club. And so, as a nonprofit, especially, we really value and need people to help us give these experiences to girls. And so if that is a calling on your heart and you've been on the fence and like, would this really matter? Yes, it will. And, just think about any girl you can think of who you think this could help. And even if you can't imagine the girl, like I could tell you so many stories about girls who have received scholarships who right away felt a little lighter or felt like they had a place to go like everybody else, or they loved and enjoyed doing all the craft activities that we do that are related to the lesson and just felt more positive in their daily life and more connected. So if that is a calling on your heart, we would so appreciate it. Just go to girlspositivityclub.org and you can check out how you can help just by pushing on that donate button. And every little bit helps. So we really appreciate you, especially during the month of December. And we love to give these gifts to girls year round, but especially as we're coming up on the end of a year and a beginning of a new one, it's just such an incredible gift to be able to give girls. So thank you for just being open to it and listening. And so let's now shift back to the connection habits, the tiny ones that you can do to help your girls feel connected at home. So here's the first habit. The 60-second soft start. Now, this is something that a lot of teachers do in the classroom, what they call a soft start, but you can even do this at home. So if you're not sure what this is exactly what this girl I was describing experienced. It's simple. When she comes into the room, approach her with softness, not questions, not instructions, not reminders, just a gentle, warm, hey, I'm glad you're here, a gentle hand squeeze, a few quiet seconds of presence, or sitting beside her without filling the space. So this is just like 60 seconds of pure just presence. And so this does something really powerful inside her brain. It tells her, I'm safe here. And confidence grows in safe places. So this is how this can look at different ages. So at ages 9 and younger, and as a reminder, you can mix and match these according to what would work best with your daughter, and even just put this in your own words. But these are some ideas. Sit beside her while she colors or while she plays without directing the play. So just being there is really important, and just sitting with her while she plays, even if you're just watching her. And then at ages 10 to 13, you can say when they come in, make eye contact with them. I know this is so powerful. And just say, hey, I'm glad you're home. Then let her settle in before asking about her day. And then ages 14 to 18, you can say a quiet presence on the couch. Like you can just do this. You don't have to say this, but a quiet presence on the couch with her or at the kitchen counter works better than a flood of questions. So this is one that's more to say to yourself, not to say out loud to her, but just remembering that quiet presence is what teens value most. And I can tell you with my teenager, even last night, I just sat in the room while video games were being played. And that's it. And just asked about the game. And me just being there was a quiet presence that I could give my teenager. And so why this works is when girls feel seen, even the girl who just, her mom sat with her at breakfast, she didn't even necessarily eat with her, she just sat with her. But when they feel seen, their whole nervous system settles. And when their nervous system settles, they show up differently at home, at school, and with friends. And so this brings us to the second tiny habit, one that helps her body feel safe before her brain even has words. And that is the 10-second check-in. So this is not a conversation. It's not a deep talk. It's not tell me everything that happened. It's a gentle, low pressure phrase like, how was your heart today? Light, heavy, or in between? Or what's your color of the day? If you had to pick a color of the day, what color would you pick? And that opens up a whole conversation. How are you feeling? Just a tiny version. Like, what's one little feeling you're having? And so with younger girls, they'll answer quickly and honestly, sometimes with just a color. And what I like to do is tell them or ask them why. Like, tell me why. Why is your color green today? And then see if they can describe it. And I think you might be surprised by how they could go into depth about what it means. For middle schoolers, they just may give a shoulder shrug, which tells you everything. And teens, they may just text you their feeling of the day or give you like a little insider. They might just say something really simple and basic. So why this works is it teaches her how to notice how she's feeling without shame, which is the foundation of emotional confidence. And so if you go back to the girl from before who shared that about her mom in the morning, she came into GPC and that did something big for her. She actually in club raised her hand to share her ideas. And she was the first one. So that she didn't, I mean, she's raised her hand before, but never first. And that really stood out to me because it just showed me that she was feeling confident in that moment. And she was carrying that throughout her whole day just because of the way that her morning started. And so it wasn't a big story. It wasn't a silly comment. It was just a small thought about the colors that she picked for our art activity and why she designed her art piece the way she did. And the girls around her smiled and said, I like that. That's cool. It wasn't a huge moment, but she shifted. She went from quiet to participating, from unsure to steady, from shrinking to showing up. And it didn't happen because of a big talk. It happened because of one tiny moment of connection at home that made her feel more herself. And this is what tiny habits do. Which brings us to our third tiny habit, the one ripple encouragement. Confidence doesn't grow because she's perfect. It grows because she sees evidence that she has impact. And so you can reflect that back with one simple daily encouragement. I saw the way you, and fill it in with something real. I saw the way you helped your brother even though you were tired. I saw the way you stuck with that homework problem longer than you wanted to. I saw the way you gave yourself space when you were frustrated. And then name the ripple. That shows patience. That shows courage. That shows you're being aware or self-aware. This helps her see through a clearer, kinder lens, and it works at every single age. The fourth tiny habit is celebrate the tiny wins, not the big goals. And so you don't need to celebrate her straight A's or huge achievements, although those are great things to celebrate. You can also, though, look for micro wins. In younger girls, you can try something, you can notice her trying something again and again after she was getting frustrated. Or you can notice that she is making a small, kind choice, or that she's joining a game at recess, even if she's nervous. Or in middle school, this could look like reaching out to one trusted friend, or telling the truth even when it's hard, or asking for space when she's feeling overwhelmed. And in teens, this could look like finishing a tough practice even though they wanted to quit, or choosing to step back from social media when something felt off or it wasn't making her feel good, or setting a small boundary like, I'm not really up for that tonight. When you reflect these tiny wins, she learns that confidence isn't something that you perform or that happens overnight. Confidence is something you practice moment by moment. And so if you're heading into winter break, if this is your season of heading into a winter break, wondering how to keep your daughter grounded while routines get looser, here's what I want you to remember. Confidence at home grows from connection. Confidence also grows from presence, not perfection. And tiny habits are enough. The 4 habits, the 60-second soft start, the 10-second check-in, the 1 ripple encouragement, or celebrating tiny wins. All of these are different ways that you can use to support her when you have more time together, and even during the busy times. You don't need hours because these are quick. You don't need perfect conversations. You don't need huge emotional plans for the week or for the break even. Small moments repeated consistently create secure daughters. You're doing an amazing job, far better than you think. And if this episode helped, please share it with another parent or caregiver who might need it this week. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining another empowering episode of the Raising Confident Girls podcast. Share today's insights with caregivers and friends, building beautiful relationships with strong girls. Hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. We're not just a podcast, we're a community. Follow Girls Positivity Club on social media for more empowering content on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. This podcast empowers you, supporting incredible girls. Let's create strong, beautiful relationships with the girls in our lives. I appreciate you listening today. Stay confident, stay connected. Until next time, keep raising those confident girls. You've got this.